Hey guys, welcome to Fair Tax, where today we're going to be looking at churches and taxes. So, like you guys may or may not know, churches are currently exempt from tax. Uh, this is because it's beyond the state's power to make them get taxed. So, today we're going to be looking at if that's fair or not. So I have some quotes pulled up from some websites I found. So Paul Ratner says that churches and other religious organizations are treated like charities that provide social benefits to society. They tend to help the poor, work to reduce crime, and generally hold a positive influence over their communities. While some of that is probably true, a lot of it is it's their communities. It's not like the whole community. It's just there. So the it just doesn't seem to really like benefit anyone except themselves. It seems like. And work to reduce crime. Yeah, that's a fair statement. But then helping the poor, well, they only really help the poor if they're like the same religion, which is pretty dumb. And then another quote from that same article, the idea of having churches tax exempt is not new. It goes back to the times of the Roman Emperor Constantine from 272 to 337 AD, who gave the Christian church a pass on all taxes, which it's good for the it's relevant for the time back then, but should we really still be using that today? Since like this was like 2,000 years ago at this point, and we're still using this concept where if you believe in some magical being, then nope, I guess you're exempt from paying us money and better than everybody else. And another quote is, who else has a church? The Kardashians. They've been accused of supporting the Life Change Community Church as their own personal tax haven. So, if the Kardashians, the stupidest and richest, like, not richest, but just snobbiest family probably on earth, uh, takes advantage of that, then you know it's a problem at this point. Since the Life Change Community Church is a church that they started, and they're using it to be exempt from tax. How is that fair? They're super rich. Okay, and another piece of evidence says that in the United States, churches and other religious institutions are, generally speaking, exempt from federal, state, and local taxes. They have been for a long time. This deeply rooted practice is quote unquote good policy and helps to promote and protect our fundamental right to religious freedom. After all, that right includes the right of religious believers to act in and through religious institutions, so it makes sense to protect those institutions from intrusions and burdens of tax laws. Okay, so it's a good policy and it helps to promote and protect our fundamental rights. Okay, if your church is getting taxed, is that stopping you from still going to church? I mean, we have approximately like 2 million churches and like all sorts of religious temples across the United States. So why can't you find another if that one goes out of like business? Or I should say business actually, because might as well be a business. And also, they get donations from like the church collecting thing. They get tons of donations. How are they not exempt from tax? They make so much money. And it's just really dumb to me. Like, oh, just because I believe in a magical being, I'm 3 trillion times better than you. And I'm not trying to offend anyone who goes to church. I'm just saying that being tax exempt is can only it's only good to a limit. Like if you're a charity, then of course you're not going to get taxed because you actually do good stuff. But if you're a church who only supports your group of people and only if they believe in this specific thing, that doesn't really make sense. Why not just help everybody? Okay, so another thing that I have pulled up is I actually searched up how many churches there are, and it's about 400,000, so I exaggerated. But still, that's a lot. And how that, none of them pay taxes. How much are we actually losing because churches don't pay taxes? And it's just so I'm starting to see how they do kind of do good for the general community and like recruitment. They help by doing that. But to me, it just seems like you're forcing a religion onto somebody just so that you can help them. It's like, why not just help everybody no matter what? It just seems really, really dumb to me. So, I'm at the U.S. Catholic website right now, and it says, some argue, however, that this exemption is unjustified, which it is. Perhaps even more noteworthy than Oppenheimer's comments was Last Week Tonight host John Oliver's scathing take down last year of IRS rules and practices having to do with religious organizations, including his own short-lived church, Our Lady of Perpetual Exemption. And then further down it says, but our tradition of exempting churches and religious institutions from taxes is justified and important. The separation of church and state is not a reason to invalidate or abandon these tax exemptions, but is instead a very powerful justification for retaining them. Okay, so churches collect money from collection bowls. We can all agree on that. That's like a standard thing. But the thing is, it's just that it's a business. Churches are businesses. They get money from the public, promising them that they'll go to heaven or like or like just like a good place. And it doesn't seem like it just seems more of a scammy business than anything else. Like, oh, just believe in this magical solution and you'll be fine. Just give us like $5,000. And it's just. Alright. So, to even go further in depth on the business thing, uh, it's purely just transactional. It's like they have staff, like volunteers and stuff, and they also have they give you a service. They're like reading some random book to you and like promising that you'll go to heaven for coming there every Sunday. Uh, it's, it's just transactional. It's like, oh, if you donate and give us money, then you'll go to this magical place when you die. And it just seems like they're just trying to like trick people into thinking that that's all that you have to do is just give us money. And that's a pretty evil thing on its own, but combined with the fact that they only do that to people who believe in a certain thing is one, weird, and two, just not good. Alright, so if we go further in depth in this, there's not just volunteers. There's paid staff. Like the pastor is paid. There's like they pay like the person who does like the cool piano or whatever, and like they get paid for like funeral services and that kind of stuff. So let's list off all the things that make them a business. So they have a building, like they have a physical building. They have paid staff and volunteers. People are getting paid to work at this place. They collect money through the community and then like never give it back unless it's through the staff. They also, well, I think that religion shouldn't really be combined with tax. Like, if you're if you believe something, then that shouldn't have an effect on how much you pay on tax. Like, who cares? Like, like you could just say, like, oh, I believe in God, and then suddenly everybody gives you trillions of dollars. That just doesn't seem right. Alright, guys, that's gonna do it for Fair Tax, where we look at taxes. See ya.